This is a house for alcoholics. It's one of 2 live-in centers here in Montgomery. The reason that people come here is to break the hold, to give it up, to dry out, and they come here voluntarily. They say that alcoholism affects directly or indirectly every family. Mr. Tolbert, you're an alcoholic. Why do people drink to the point of drunkenness, to the point that it affects their everyday life?
As an individual, gosh, it could be several things. Maybe it's family, maybe it's finance. There's a great many things. As an alcoholic, you're probably the most cunning person in the world, and you drink to cover up a lot of guilt, a lot of lies, just to hide everything. And for myself, that's the best way I can answer that question.
What does it feel like to be at that point?
You're scared, you're running, you're seeking help, but you're afraid to ask for it.
What does it feel like to be taking another drink and thinking about it?
Pure hell. Pure hell.
Is that the point you feel when you yourself would finally seek help, or that someone else would be at a point where they would?
That's the way it was for me. I had a friend in mental health here, and I called him. I said, man, I need help. I got to have help. Well, let me tell you a little story. I called him 3 months ago, and of course I was pretty high at the time. And after I got him on the phone, I chickened out. I said, I'm going to whip this thing by myself. So I said, hey, guy, let's just have a cup of coffee to get out of the conversation and to tell him that I was back on the bottle again. But this time I kind of got around to it. And I think he knew all the time I was in trouble. And help is there if you'll ask for it.
Do you feel that there are a lot of people who are going through this hell right now who are not asking for help?
Sure. False pride. We know everything. An alcoholic knows everything when he's drinking.
When someone's in this drunken condition, do they feel like that they have lost the ability to have a productive life?
When they're in a drunken condition?
Yeah.
Oh, man, we know everything. It's when you sober up, is when you realize that, or when you feel like that you're no good, you're depressed, you're kicking your own self. And this is what this program is all about.
Bill, you're the director of Collins House in Hope Haven. Exactly how big a problem is alcoholism?
Ivy, they tell us that there are 20,000 alcoholics in the Montgomery area. Federal statistics tells us that there are 10 million alcoholics in the United States. It is the #1 health problem, and also it is probably the #3 cause of death, followed by heart trouble and cancer. So it is a major problem. It is the #1 drug problem.
Well, there's a large number of alcoholics in this area. If someone is a problem drinker, how would he finally arrive here?
Well, there are several ways. He could walk in off the street and ask to be admitted into the house. They come voluntarily. They can come through mental health. They can be recommended by the courts, by the police department, by an individual, by a fellow AA member. So there are many ways they can come to us. But first, they have to come wanting help, desiring it, and seeking it. We do not go out and seek them.
Well, how many men do you have here at Collins House?
We have 8 men today. We have a capacity. We have a capacity for 12.
Is this a rough program that they have to go through, and or while they're here, what are the requirements for someone coming in?
The first requirement is that they be drug-free and alcohol-free for 72 hours and come before the admissions committee. And we talk with them about their desire, how well or how much they want the program. They're willing to live by our rules and regulations and really want to be sober.
A person cannot come in off the street drunk then and say, I need help, will you help me?
No.
And be able to enter the program?
No. I must be sober for 72 hours.
And you would then guide them somewhere else, and then they would come back here at the end of a 72-hour period?
Right, that's right, yes.